I experience the energy of emotions holistically. I receive every detail of others' emotions on all levels. The disdain in your face, the inflections in your voice, the micro changes of your breathing, and the positioning of your gait, those complex layers of data, as glorious as they are in their depth of detail, require deciphering as to whose those responses are intended for, me or someone else. My auto-interpretation owns every ounce of energy as a personal message intended only for me. This is when you cue the fight, flight, freeze response. And this is often where people will say, oh, it's always about you. You're always turning things to be always about you. This is why, not because I'm narcissistic, but because of my cognitive empathy struggles combined with historic trauma. I observed this in other animals like my dog Darcy and other dogs that I've had, where they skulk out the room or shrink down because they sense a negative energy in the space they share. I guess this is why I compare my reactions to being dominated by the primitive brain, the oldest part of our brain buried deep within the folds of grey. Generations of organic data and genetic intellectual adaptations formed through thousands of years of experiences, hardwired into our psyche because it kept us alive, increasing the chances that our genes be passed down to future generations. The trauma of moving through life without needs met is something that I feel needs to be acknowledged as having a profound influence on how flexible our cognitive empathy is at being able to step back and reassess. By this I mean, if you had an autistic person with needs met, what would their experience of cognitive empathy be compared to my experience? My experience, I believe, is influenced heavily by the trauma that I've experienced. An autistic person with needs met while growing up, and then me as an autistic person with no needs met growing up, and to compare their cognitive empathy abilities. That is not documented. And that is what we need more of, more documentation. So more autistic people on platforms like this, sharing their insight, helping us as humans create a understanding of what it means to be autistic and not having a single definition with a deficit narrative running alongside it. Cognitive function, like executive function, has to be harnessed, nurtured, so that it becomes your ally and not your enemy. The enemy, the little voice inside your head telling you it's your fault based on historic trauma inducing experiences.